Well, hello there.
Hello, everybody.
Hello there, HMB fam. I know we are behind time tonight. You notice it's me, your girl, Coach Shalonda, and your girl, Serious K, tonight.
Hello, everybody.
We're running behind schedule due to some technical difficulties with Miss Queen A. She should be popping in at any time. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. But we will not delay the program any further. We are so excited to be on tonight. We have some things to discuss, and we're so excited to be on tonight. How are you, Miss Series K?
I am good.
How was your week, honey?
Girl, it was a week.
It was a week.
It was a week. It seems like it was a long week, and I guess because I was busy at work and then I was trying to do school work, and it just seemed like the week just was dragging and dragging. When you just so ready for the weekend, it seems like it takes you that much longer to get to it. And I'm like, Saturday, please, because mine is TGIS. Everybody else is
Yeah.
TGIF. So I'm
Yours
like,
TGIS. I like that.
yes, because I'm on Sunday, but I'm like, come on Saturday, come on. So Saturday is finally here.
Well, I like that TGIS. Well, let's see. Mine is not even Saturday. Mine is Sunday. Sometimes Monday.
Yeah.
TGIS. TGIS.
You work on Sundays too?
No, ma'am. That's
Okay,
what
yeah.
I said.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. TGISS.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I am so
Mm.
excited to be here tonight. It was a crazy week, crazy busy week, but we're here. We're excited. We have some exciting things to talk about tonight. We even have a little celebration to talk about tonight. One of our hot
Yes.
topics. Well, first of all, it is an exciting month, you guys. Actually, it's an awareness now. One thing, it is Happy Women's History Month. Woo! It's all about
Yay.
us. It's all about us. All about us. We're making history. So many women
Yeah.
across the globe have just made history after history after history, and we can
Mm.
just get the name and get the name and get the name, and we know who they are.
Yeah.
So we're so excited about that this morning. I mean, this morning, this month.
Okay.
But also, we try to keep up with the awareness months. It's also colon cancer awareness month. Did you know that? I didn't
Oh,
know.
is it? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so we definitely want to bring awareness to that. I know they always have all different types of drives.
Hmm.
They definitely push. I know is it for adults over? Is it over 40
It's
or 50 or
yeah.
45?
Now I think they took the limit down took the age down to like 45 if you have a history of cancer.
Uh huh.
Your family or whatever,
Hmm.
because I gotta go get a colonoscopy, and I just keep putting it off and putting it off. I mean, who's excited about that? Nobody, but we gotta get.
Nobody. But this is
Yeah.
real talk, HMB fam. If you are over the age of 45, is it 45 and over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might want to go ahead and schedule those, exciting colonoscopies, and just, go ahead and get it on out the way and
Yeah.
check your health. 45. So 45 and over, get it done, get it out the way. Because, we all want to stay healthy and live as long as we can with our loved ones and friends. So family and friends. So, definitely get it done, get it done. So, and
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, bringing awareness to it because, yeah, it runs in my family. Yeah,
Yeah.
runs in my family. So, definitely, it was actually scheduled for me. And here's the thing, you guys, it was scheduled, no joke. This is a true story, Serious K. It was scheduled about 2 weeks ago. I believe it was scheduled 2 weeks ago. And the medicine that was prescribed for me did
Mm-hmm.
not work. And you know what I'm saying? You know the stuff you have to
What?
drink. But I was told the stuff that you have to drink, this was my first one. Now, granted, yes,
Yeah.
I'm over 45. But yeah, have I been trying to dodge the bullet? I ain't gonna say all that. But I'm just I'm just gonna say I ain't even know. I ain't even know. I did not know HMB fam.
Yeah.
But so anyway, my doctor, went ahead and was like, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and take care of your business.
Yeah.
So I set it up, and they prescribed the juice that you have to drink.
Yeah.
So a lot of people talk about how bad the juice is, how
Yeah.
nasty it tastes. But the juice that was prescribed, it was not nasty. It had a fruity
Really?
taste, but it didn't do nothing.
Maybe it was the wrong juice then.
It was prescribed medication juice, you guys. It didn't do nothing. Now I can't put it out
Wow.
there. Y'all know
Oh wow.
legality. I can't put it out there. But but it was a fruity taste. I can put that out there. It was a fruity taste and it did not do anything for me. So she did prescribe me, with another one. And
Oh,
so I have to, of course, I'm getting it rescheduled. But it was 2 weeks ago. So of course I was ready. Had drank it. She told me, how you have to prep the day
yeah.
before. So I'm just waiting, just waiting. Nothing, just waiting. Okay, maybe I'll be up all night. Just
Hmm.
nothing. Slept like a baby.
Dang.
So of course I had to be there because they like to take, do that first thing
Yeah.
in the morning. So I still went up there. I still kept my appointment. I went up there 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. You guys, 7 a.m. And I told her, yeah, nothing happened. You won't
Oh
be,
wow.
you won't be doing no type of nothing. Nothing be going up. Yeah, nothing.
Oh yeah, because you got to get cleansed first.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, so no
Hmm.
action, nothing happened. So I had to redo. And I had really prepped for it because you have to really prep for it. You have to plan for it. You can't drive yourself there and you cannot drive
Yeah.
yourself home. So I had really planned for it and it was all just
Yeah.
for me. So
That's messed
but
up.
right. But I just gave my little experience, but that's just, that happens. But definitely I don't know if it's, I don't have any problems. I don't know if maybe you have to have that conversation as far as your system. Like
Mm-hmm.
if,
Mm-hmm.
if you have issues with bowel movements, I know we're kind of, but we're talking about colonoscopy, this is
Yeah.
45 and older. But I don't know. But I have a clean system, so I don't
Yeah.
know if you have a clean system, you don't have any issues. If you need to let your doctor know so that they can make sure they prescribe you with something really heavy, maybe it is that very nasty stuff because that
Mm-hmm.
little fruity thing didn't do nothing for me. That little fruity drink, that was a little
Yeah.
fruity smoothie. That was nothing.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
nothing. But yeah,
Need a
so
stimulant, a real stimulant.
yeah, that's what I needed. So
Hmm.
that was my experience. So I look forward to part two. I'll be
Oh,
sure to put
I see my sister on here.
oh
She's the one, hey,
hi.
she's the one saying, hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
sister.
So glad you're on tonight. So glad everyone that's tuning in. Be sure to like, share.
Oh, Shahid.
Hey, Shaheed. How are you? We miss you. We miss
I
all of you
know. I was
guys.
thinking about him the other day. I was like, what's Shahid doing?
I know he is doing some big
He's
things.
a
Y'all be sure
busy
to check out.
businessman.
Yes, check out y'all in the New York area. Check out Exotic Poetry
Mhm.
Lounge.
Yes.
I can't remember what city it was in. Shahi, put it in the chat. What city you're
Yeah, put
located?
your
Was it
information.
Brooklyn? I don't remember. Don't give me this.
You
Don't
know
give me
what?
the
Anytime
wrong
y'all
location.
business owners come on here that are friends of HMV, please put your information in. Don't be shy.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Mhm.
Put your information in. My Adorb Suites. Put your
Couture.
information in.
Yeah. Hmm.
Those good adorbs. Well, y'all, let's get into the show. We got a good show tonight. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. We're gonna start off with our hot. What he said. I'm fine, Miss
Miss
Shaw.
you always.
Oh, hey,
Hey, Nikki.
Nikki. We miss you too. Y'all put y'all business in the chat so people will know.
Who
Y'all can
you are.
support one
Yeah.
another.
Yes.
So we have some exciting news. We're always we have been talking about it a lot as far as a lot of breakups during this um, during COVID-19. A lot has been going on, a lot of negativity, but
Hmm.
some good things has been going on too. But I would definitely say, a lot of bad has definitely outweighed the good when it comes to relationship.
Yeah.
We've definitely seen a lot of people praise and celebrate divorces and
Yeah.
breakups a
Yes.
lot
Yeah.
more. than uniting and coming together or reuniting. And speaking of reuniting, one couple that said they were going to kick in the towel was Jason Momoa, honey.
Mm.
Jason
So cute. They a cute
Momoa
couple.
and Lisa Bonet, they decide to give their marriage a second chance. Isn't that? Isn't
Oh,
that? And you know that song? I thought about that song. Um,
what? Reunited.
Not that one, but that's a good one too. But the one by Shalimar, second time
Time
around.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I said
Uh-huh.
but, but I thought about that. But the one thing I was listening to, I believe it was like they were talking about them. I think it was on an interview. They weren't interviewing, but they were. It was an interview going on, and they were
Mm-hmm.
mentioning them. And he had made a statement that said that when he was 8 years old, he said that he was going to marry her.
Oh wow. Oh
And I'm
wow.
like, are you kidding me? 8 years old. And he said he was, and how old are they now? 80.
Because like she's like how much older is she than him? I can't remember, but she's
Producer,
much
look it
older.
up. Yeah,
Yeah, she's much older than him.
she's very mature. I think
But
she's in her 50s, right?
she gotta be like,
Yeah.
does she like be mid 50s? I don't.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I always thought that they were a cute couple, and I liked the way that he embraced her kids, and they embraced him. Well, his because she only got that one outside daughter, right? That's Lenny Kravitz's daughter. I think
Yeah.
it's just the one. But I
Chloe.
like that. I love their relationship, and I was reading where he still supports her. He went to the Batman opening and all this kind of stuff. So I'm glad that they're getting back together because I'm sure those little kids they miss that having that family, that togetherness, and everything that I saw about them. Well, it seemed like it was just so good. I mean, I saw her redo his car for his birthday
Yeah.
last year. It was so cute. I'm happy for them that they giving it a second chance. Hey,
Yeah.
Queen A.
Hello there, Queen.
Oh, y'all, I finally made it.
And
And all the noise along with you.
yes, honey. Your sound is great. It's
Oh,
just
good.
awesome.
I like I got my heart in my voice, shine, y'all.
Me too, girl.
Look, y'all. I got my heart in my voice.
Oh Lord.
That was way too much.
She was
Way too much
excited.
HMB. But HMB fam, what? We're trying to promote love and unity, but you see how they ganged up on me. You see how they wore the shirts. Didn't tell me though. But
Well, see, listen, I just threw it on because I didn't feel like looking for stuff. I was
but
like,
you know what?
listen,
I would have put my. Y'all gonna say, you know what? Throw on your shirt tonight.
Well, when I tried
hey,
to log in earlier, I saw Kim had it. So I said, oh, I want to look nice too, my heart, mind, and voice.
Okay. See, they could have
You
told
know,
me.
okay, so
you can't pause and come back, put it
I
on
was
and
just
come
gonna say
back.
that. Where's your shirt? Pause it and come back. But
Yeah.
watch this. Where's your shirt, Coach Yolanda? See?
She's like a kid. She's like a child. She's like,
See?
So as we continue talking
We
about
were
Jason
supposed she was
Bourne,
supposed to have found this shirt. How long ago? A month ago? Okay, all right.
anyway, that's not the point. They could have told me, y'all. They could have told. But that's
Oh,
not the
God.
point because I can't find my shirt. That's okay. I'm gonna represent my
See.
shirt, y'all. I'm gonna represent. But yeah, so I'm really excited. Queen A, we're talking about Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. Ooh, so the age producer just put the age difference. She's 54 and he's 42.
Okay.
All right now, so
12 year
what's that?
difference.
12 years? Ooh wee.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was 8 and she was. What's that, y'all? Y'all,
20?
help me out now.
He was
8 plus
20?
12. What? And so he
Yes.
said when he was 8 years old, his little butt. Tell mama marry that
He
grown lady.
probably was watching a different world or something. I don't know. Because
I'm
she
a
was 20 when
marry
she on the chair. She was in college on a different world. And
but he always said that he was in love with her. He wanted to be with her. So he probably had a fascination at a young age. And that, by the way, that's going to be one of our topics. He was committed to getting with her.
mhm.
Yeah.
That's like what's her name? Oh God, Jennifer Aniston and who's that she was married to? What's his name? Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
She
Yeah.
said she had a crush on him when she was younger, before she became an actress, and she said that she wanted to marry him.
Yep.
And they got married. It didn't work, but it happened for her.
But it happened,
It happened.
and they moved on.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so it's
It's
just so
like
nice to see.
Cannon, same thing. He said he really wanted to be with Mariah.
Yeah.
Got her, and that didn't work, unfortunately. But thank God these two are back together, though. So
Well, wait a minute, y'all. I just want to say this real quick. Did y'all hear that Nick Cannon wrote a song about Mariah recently?
I heard the song.
Okay.
I heard this. I like the song. Yeah, I didn't like this. I heard the song.
I didn't hear the song.
it.
I heard about it, so I'm like, is he trying to get back in?
I thought it was a cute, fun song. It's not a song that, oh, this person got skills. Absolutely
Oh,
not.
well, we know.
But it was a fun song, like very
okay.
fun. You know, a lot of auto tunes, very fun.
Oh,
Not somebody got
oh,
skills. Absolutely not. But a lot of fun. So kudos to them. We definitely wish them well. Kudos to you guys. Anyway, moving on to our next hot topic. And this one has a lot to do with watch your mouth. Certain things just don't need to be said. Gosh. Now we're talking about I'm sure you guys all know Miss Laverne Cox. I know y'all do from the Orange. I know Queen A, I know you love the way you watch Netflix. She is an avid watcher of Netflix. Most series.
She exaggerated.
Call her tomorrow.
girl, I can't say nothing. I ain't nothing wrong with it. I love Netflix.
Oh, yes. Chris can't gonna admit it.
On Wednesday, The Last Kingdom. So you know I'm gonna be
that's good.
Show. Next week, y'all don't even contact me really, because I'm gonna be watching The Last Kingdom.
They got a new season coming too.
I know. I said on Wednesday, girl, I can't wait.
Anyway, moving on. So Miss Laverne Cox, you know, she's star of the Orange is the New Black. Anyway, she was interviewing Jada and Will on the red carpet of the SAG Awards, and you know, she was just giving her love, and you know, they were really having a nice conversation. She was saying how much she loved them, and so she made the little sweet little sneakily joking comment, and she said, right, and no more entanglements. Okay. And no more entanglements. So, you know, some things, especially at an event like that and on the red carpet. Did you listen to the video?
Well, you know, I just listened to it on this evening, but but you know, it's and another thing, you in married folks' business. Mm-hmm. You ain't got, if you're not their therapist, you ain't got no business intervening and telling them no more this. That's none of your business. Mm-hmm. You don't know what kind of agreement they have in their marriage, which, you know, is not to say that I agree with what they're doing or what they have done in the past, but you don't know what they've agreed to. And whatever they agreed to, that's their business within their marriage. So how are you going to sit there and say no more? I mean, what if they get in your business and say no more, whatever you got going on?
Right.
You know what I mean? And like you say, there's a time and place for everything. And there wasn't the time nor the place. Now, the word entanglement, she should have trademarked that, because people say that on TV shows, you know, and our lighter skinned brothers and sisters, they're starting to use it. So she should have branded that.
Yeah. She should have, you know, and she did. I did hear it, and she did say it in a very jokingly way, very sly, very jokingly way. You know, she can be very poised when she wants to be. She can be, but Laverne Cox. Yeah. But you know, it was just not the time for it, and definitely was not the place. And so, you know, listening to other celebrities commenting on it, I don't know if you guys heard Rebecca Fox comment on it. Whoo, you know, she's very the family. Hello, very close to the, Smiths. And she was like, she was just not pleased with that at all. And, told her next time, people are going to walk on by, they're going to, because of that. So sometimes, you don't want
Yeah.
to burn your bridges because you just never know. And they are very well known in Hollywood. And she's in Laverne Cox. She acts. So you don't want to mess up nothing. What do they call it? Blacklisted? You don't want to become blacklisted.
Blackballed.
Blackballed. You don't want to
Yeah.
become blackballed or blacklisted in Hollywood. So you definitely, you just want to use a coup, as they say, and you want to use wisdom, and there's a time for it. And,
Mhm.
it could have been whispered in the ear if you just had to say it then and there where no one could hear it and the microphone away. you
Yeah.
know, but it didn't have to be said right then and there. So that was the point. So sometimes I guess the moral to that story is just, sometimes you just have to use discernment and
Mhm.
use discretion because
Mhm.
sometimes you're not at a, sometimes everything does not need to be said in certain
Yeah. That's
situations,
true.
certain
That
places.
is so true.
Just use discretion at times, right? And
Especially when you are here and they're here,
mhm,
you know,
right.
you got to you better stay.
Especially when you're here and they're here.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, don't do that.
don't say nothing, do nothing, mess it up for yourself. Exactly. Like that should not have, that was a joke. Unless they were like really good friends and they
That's
really know each
different.
other like that.
Yeah.
Even then, I'm not gonna, yeah, that's not gonna be the time and place that I'm gonna joke with my friend. My friend, if this is her night to shine, this is their night to shine. So that's what I'm going to help them do. Shine. And
Yeah.
not using that word and not using that scenario because that was
Yeah.
not
That
a
was
scenario.
insensitive
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
will,
So, and I did see where she had posted something about she was not apologizing like out in the public, but if she felt like they wanted her to apologize, or if they made a statement about her apologize, or any
Mhm.
type of awareness that she needed to apologize to them, she would do it privately, although
Oh,
she said it openly. So I was
public.
like, very interesting. She would do
Hey
it.
then.
That's you should have made that joke privately.
That's right.
And it's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, well, okay, if she feel comfortable that way, then yeah, you probably do want to go and apologize to them privately. At least it would be okay between you all if
Yeah.
there's anything. But they're so smooth.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
If it bothered them or not, we'll never know.
Yeah.
Like it bothered
That's
us.
true. That's true.
So y'all look like our Miss Queen A. I guess she's still having a few technical difficulties.
She'll probably pop back in a minute.
Wait, is it retrograde in her
I
world?
know.
She'll
I
be back.
know.
But let's move on to our topics tonight. Our first topic tonight. This is a good one here, Serious K.
Mhm.
How deep is your love? Ooh,
Mhm.
how deep is your love? How far will you take your commitment? Be it in a relationship or marriage. Why or should there be a difference? So, do you think there should be a difference when it comes to commitment in a relationship versus marriage? So I'll start off. Since I'm asking the question,
Go
I
ahead.
definitely think that it should be a difference when it comes to relationship. Relationship, there's no obligation. In marriage, there's definitely obligation,
Yeah.
and there's commitment. Relationship, there's really no commitment. You want to be committed. You would like a commitment there, but you're definitely not obligated to one another. You
Right.
definitely can walk away at any time. Although in marriage, people tend to treat it or try to treat it the
Mhm.
same, but it's not
Mhm.
the same. No matter how the world tried to make it the same and say, "Oh, the difference is only that it's a piece of paper." No, it's way more than just that piece of paper.
Yes.
Serious K, with you being very present in that space, tell us more about that.
Yeah, I agree, Coach Shalonda. I mean, you're not when you're just in a relationship, quote unquote, you're not committed, basically, to committed to anything.
Right.
You are not making any, well, you can make those promises, but you can't hold that person to those promises,
Right.
because it's like you're free to do whatever you want to do, because you're a single person,
Right.
and you don't have to answer to anybody. You haven't made any vows, no commitment, no promises, no obligations. So
None.
you can't expect the same thing that you would expect, the same thing you would expect to get out of a marriage that you would get from a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Right.
And I just want to talk about being fully committed for a
Mm-hmm.
minute.
Yeah.
Now, within my marriage, I am fully committed. You
Mm-hmm.
have some people that are in marriages that aren't fully committed.
Right.
And when I say that in saying, I'm fully committed to my husband. I am all in. I
Mm-hmm.
have no side dudes, no
Right.
side inboxes, no
Right.
secret
Right.
inboxes, no secret conversations. I'm all in. I'm committed. So when
Right.
you make a commitment and you decide that I'm all in, you have to give up something,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah.
So there's some friendships you have to give up. Be it maybe some single ladies that run on the wild side, and you gonna run on the wild side no more, or maybe they're disrespectful to your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're fully committed, you have to make a sacrifice, because you
Right.
make a choice and a decision, because this is what you want, this is what you desire, this is who you desire to be with. So basically, you have to make a choice. Do I want to stay in this, or do I
Mm-hmm.
want to
Right.
stay fully committed to this person and be all in and full in? So I decided to be full in and all in committed to my marriage. But like you said, Coach Shalana, there are some people that aren't fully committed and all in. And when you're all in, you make the decision to do whatever it takes to make that work. You
Right.
So that's how you know when you're fully committed to something. When you decide, hey, I don't care, we've been friends how long, but you're disrespecting my marriage, you're disrespecting my spouse. It's been 20
Right.
years, 40, 30 years, whatever. That's how you know you're committed, because you're willing to sacrifice or give up something,
Yeah.
um, to keep that relationship mended and together.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. When you mentioned, I'm married and I'm all in. I am fully committed to my spouse, and your spouse comes first, no matter what the situation is. And a lot of people have a hard time in understanding the structure that actually God created, not even us, not even
Yeah,
man, but God created, of how the family structure is to go. He's first. God, of course, is the head of everybody and everything that exists, and then you,
yeah.
and then your spouse, your
Mm-hmm.
spouse, and then the kids, and then everything else, to follow. But no, because the kids gonna be right after you. They may come before God. But that's how people, that's how, and it's hard because we're parents, we're mothers. Of course, we have an unbreakable bond, with our children,
Yeah,
and we can't fathom to see that somebody is before our child,
yeah,
not to mention to get into the dynamics of it all, but
yeah.
to know that, okay, yeah, this is the way that God has said it, but this is what I say.
Mhm.
But then we wonder why nothing lasts. We wonder why we can't keep a relationship going. We wonder why, we're always back looking and seeking. And I know a lot of people are okay, but it's like, are we really okay? Because
Yeah,
there are a lot of people that are not with someone, and they're living, they're just here and there, and they may be in a relationship, but are they fully satisfied in their relationship?
mm,
No, because you can feel the emptiness, you can hear the emptiness. They're always seeking and searching. It's always, the life is on this social media.
yeah, yeah.
It's always
Mm-hmm.
something. Somebody's always putting their life on social media. Well, I don't need
Mm-hmm.
this, and it's time for me to do this, and it's time. At one point, they're celebrating. They're so excited.
Mhm.
That they're with this person and this and that and that and this. And then all of a sudden, hear about the person, everything is gone. You see no trace
Yeah.
that he was everything or she was everything. No trace. No trace because
Mhm.
like you said, it takes sacrifice, in a committed relationship. So that's a question, HMB fam, that you really want to ask yourself. How deep is your love? How committed? There are steps into building a commitment. There are steps to it. You really got to dig. And you know what? Another thing about, especially when it comes to marriage, commitment. Commit
Mhm.
commitment is selfless. You gotta go in there selfless. It is not about you. It is about the minute, the day that we can go into a marriage, a commitment. It's not about me. And that other person that's going into that same commitment with you, it's not about me, but it's about him. It's about her. It'll last a lifetime. It'll last a
Mhm.
lifetime. There has got to be a key ingredient to something of the few marriages that are still around today after for 40 and 50 and 60 years, the few marriages that
Yeah.
are there
Mhm. Mhm.
40, 50 years, besides it was convenient. No, that ain't the only thing. Because
Yeah.
nowadays they leaving. That convenience wearing out, they're leaving.
Mhm.
But there is something that is still holding them together. And what is that one key ingredient? Queen A, what do you have to say about this topic? Can
First of all, y'all, my commitment was being tested today hard. I mean, I was challenge after challenge, but I was committed to come in. I just wanted to give up, be like, you know what? And I just, it's just very interesting when the topic come up. You're challenged in ways like in commitment. You're going to be challenged, and you're going to be
Mhm.
challenged to how committed you are to something, to someone, to yourself, your word, especially because in life, I think we are always challenged in our word. We always challenged with integrity. But I want to read this quote really quick on a commitment. It says, without commitment, you cannot have depth in anything, whether it's a relationship or a business or a hobby. Commitment is what transforms a promise into reality. And commitment is an act, not a word, which means that you have to engage, you have to create activity around it. And sometimes commitment take, consistency. It takes practice because we can say we can be committed and we're going to be tested every single time, whether it's in relationships or
Mhm.
whatever. So it's like you have to engage in activities that create commitment that create the word basically create the
Mhm.
activity of commitment. And then it says commitment is that turning point in your life when you seize the moment and convert it into an opportunity to alter your destiny. Now that's
Wow.
powerful because we don't even recognize how commitment can really alter and transform your destiny. And
Yeah.
it's like, sometimes again, we're going to be challenged. Like today, I was challenging, the internet and the computer and everything. But when you commit to something and literally transform your destiny, say if you're getting married or want to get married, you're dating or whatever it is, or you're in a marriage, if you are committed to, working it out or committed to your business or whatever it may be, it's going to transform your destiny. It may not look like it today,
Mhm.
but if you stick to it, you'll be transformed, and you just have to believe that. But one
Mhm.
thing, because I know you both are married and I'm single, but I would say this from a single perspective. I am 100% committed to me. And I have to learn, this is something I had to learn in life because if I wasn't committed to me, then I won't get someone who's going to commit to me.
Right.
So it's like if you're not committed to yourself, you're gonna get people who betray you, and that's lessons that I had to learn. Where I had people betray me all the time, people to take from me, people to do certain things to me because I wasn't 100%, committed to Kaneen. So I had to learn how to be 100% committed to me, so that therefore a person who come into my life, I can be 100% committed to him, and vice versa. He's gonna be 100% in it with me. And also, again, commitment is an activity, is a practice. When you establish and practice in your life, you're going to begin to see how your life improve in so many areas. Not just relationships, but overall in life. So again, you got to engage in activity, create habits. That causes you to be committed. Habit forming things. How do you create a habit? How do you do this? How do you? So it's just all those things you got to really engage in because commitment is challenging and it can be hard, but you have to say to yourself, I am committed, to this, no matter what it takes. I'm committed to make it work, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good. What was that? You said something about transform. When you commit to something, it transform your destiny. What
Your
was that?
destiny.
Your destiny. Now, was that did the guy didn't he really expound on that in his
Okay.
podcast?
So I'm
That
glad
was
you
really
said
good.
that.
I listened to it. Yeah. Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah, I
glad you
did
said that
too.
because I just forgot all about that. So the podcast, I can't
I
remember.
remember with that. Yeah.
You have to go back and look at the podcast name, but it was very transformative and powerful because the guy said it's 3 steps when it comes to commitment. He said either you are in the choosing phase, or desire. Excuse me, you're in the desiring phase. Like, I'm desiring commitment. I'm desiring to make a change in my life. You're in a choosing. Like, do I choose? Do I choose this to commit to? Do I choose that to commit to? And in the third phase, I am all in it. So you have
Right.
to understand what phase in your life are you in when it comes to commitment, because it's like, okay, sometimes say, I'm single, where I was challenged before, where do I really want to commit? Do I really want marriage? So I was in that phase where I was desiring relationship. I was desiring, a business. I was just kind of like playing on the fence with it. Right. And then, but he talks about in this podcast, the guy talk about the danger zones of it, because it's like you have to understand where you are, and it's okay where you are, right? We don't want to make people wrong for where they are in their
Right.
level of life, or when committing to anything in life. So it's
Right.
like, but when you become aware of what stage you're in, then you can begin to transform it. But when you're not aware, that's when it becomes dangerous, because you can affect your life and you can affect other people's life. So say for instance, if you're say if you're married, right? And the person like deciding like, oh, I don't know if I really want this. It's not. So now you're in the phase where you're not only affecting the person and their emotions and their well-being, but now you're affecting that other person as well. I mean, now you're affecting yourself. So you have to begin to understand where are you in the commitment phase. So if you're desiring certain things, okay, recognize I'm desiring this, but I'm not fully sure if I'm ready for it. So I'm not going to, fully commit. But it's important to let a person know where you are on a commitment level. So you may say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about relationships, but I'm not quite sure. That way you give the person a chance to kind of understand, how do I really, do I choose to stay in this or what, or, whatever. It could be a business. I'm not sure if I really want to do this business, but, I'm thinking about it. I may kind of help out somewhat. So, you really have to understand where you are. And when you know where you are, you can really transform things in a
You
powerful
really
way.
can.
So,
Yeah, you really can. Yeah, and I remember that from the podcast where he really, expounded and said some of those things, and that's true. I really can attest to that. You really stay committed to something. You really can. You really can transform the outcome. You really can. So that's really good. Those
I
are
have
some.
to get his name. I like to make sure I give people credit for it. So,
Yeah.
And you know what I wanted to say? Have you noticed once you become fully committed, once you're all in and you get past the challenges, like past the, oh Lord, like this is a lot. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
I want to continue. Once you get past that and you become fully committed to something, have you noticed that you don't focus anymore on the cons or the negatives?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
start focusing
yes,
more on the pros, like you start researching more about you start finding like experts. Just say
Yeah.
like if it's your marriage, you start finding like marriage experts just to listen to, or you just start looking for all the pros versus the cons. Like I even
Yeah.
think about like when I started going back to school, I didn't focus on the cons. I focused on all the pros. And when I researched all the pros, all the positives, and I didn't even think about the negatives, even though some negatives hit me during the process, but I'm so fully committed to where I just continue to go on. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, that's
Kim,
good.
you said something before. By the way, the guy podcast is conversations about living an abundant, loving life, and this is with Matthew Bivens. So his podcast, great podcast. But Series K, you said something before on one of our shows. You talked about your why. And when you have a commitment, know your why. Why? Because you're always going to be challenged
Yeah.
in every area that you commit to. Because the universe will test you. Okay, how are you really committed? How bad do you want it? But also, what I recognize is when I'm committed, I begin to attract whatever it takes is going to help me stay in it.
Yes.
So, so say for instance, where I can be committed to a certain type of relationship or a certain type of person, or even just committed to me and building myself up, I begin to attract people who are like mine, in a sense. And of course you're gonna attract some people that's crazy, because that's just life.
Yeah.
But when you are committed to something, you will begin to attract those things to help you stay committed and help you fulfill whatever it is that you are committed to. So
Yes.
You will. You will. So these are some definitely good comments. It's just amazing how we're having this deep conversation about commitment. We got to switch it a little bit and talk about emotional numbness, y'all. That's like a
Hey,
trip.
hey,
'Cause it's like,
address it all.
okay, y'all, on the upside, let's talk about not feeling a thing. Emotional numbness. Are you emotionally numb? I mean, first of all, do you even know what that means? And I'm sure we do. I'm sure we all have our own meaning, our own understanding behind it. Um, don't feel any type of sensation, just totally disconnected from your
Mm,
feelings, from your
mm.
emotions, from your sense, just totally disconnected. Totally disconnected.
connected because you're not committed.
Exactly. That's the other side of it.
Right.
Are you just totally, and have you ever experienced that? And I'm sure we've all, because life will make sure you go through
Mm,
everything that exists before you leave here, that'll cause you to grow. I'm talking about grow, not some of those things that you could choose and that cause you to,
yeah.
go left. But, just, I think sometimes, especially if experiencing the news of death of a loved one, that can cause you to go numb in
Yeah.
the beginning because so many emotions come up. You don't know, cry, scream, get mad, angry. You don't know what to do. Um, Frustrated, angry with a disobedient child, or your child is, is just all out of order.
Mhm.
Be it a kid or an adult kid, no matter how old they get, they still, stay in, upon our heart. So, just whatever the situation is, a heavy situation can definitely cause us to go numb, emotionally numb in
Mhm.
the beginning because, and I think when a person can become emotionally numb is when they don't know how to handle all of their emotions or so many emotions that stir up all at once. It's like, and so you just shut down. The body shuts down, and you're like,
Mhm.
or you can have gone through so much, so many times. Now, I've definitely experienced this. You've gone through something so much for so long till you become numb to it,
Mhm.
as if it doesn't even exist. It
Mhm.
exists, but because you're so done and just don't even know which way to go, you feel like you've done everything. You feel like you've just prayed and prayed. These for my prayer warriors that have prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for certain things in certain situations and whatever you believe in God for. And you don't see nothing.
Mhm.
And you just get numb to the situation. Like,
Mhm.
you just almost at that I want to give up stage because you have no feelings towards that situation. That's emotional numbness. Did we know it had a title? Mm-mm. But but now that we're talking about it and breaking it down, that's what it is. Now, how did we handle it, and how do you handle it? You
Mhm.
there's everybody has their way of dealing with pain because
Yeah.
emotional numbness comes from pain. The root of numbness is pain. It comes from
Mhm.
pain. So, how to deal with that is you definitely have to deal with it. You have to confront it. You have to confront and you have to face your pain. And that's the thing that none of us like to do. I don't want, even if we get a cut, we see that cut, we ouch. We look at the
Mhm.
cut and say, ouch, ouch.
Mhm.
And don't let it be, somebody have scarred us or done something. That's a whole nother pain, but we don't even want to deal with that. But confronting your pain in whatever form it is, that's
Yeah.
the first step. Being able to, even if it's yourself, even if you cause yourself some pain, broken promises, broken commitments that you've done to yourself. You got to face it. You got to face yourself and deal with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What you ladies think? Go ahead, Serious K. What's your thoughts on that?
Emotional numbness. When I think about emotional numbness, I think about going back to the commitment thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you decide that I no longer, this is no longer my desire, I'm no longer committed to this thing because of hurt, like you said, Coach Shalonda, it can be hurt.
Yes.
It can be maybe I'm just tired, I'm just done, and maybe my desire has shifted to something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I think about emotional numbness, I think about like an ex relationship.
Yeah.
And when I decided to check out,
Yeah.
I became emotionally numb. And that's a danger zone for me
Yeah.
in a relationship, because when I become emotionally numb, it's like there's nothing you can say or do to change my mind. You know what I mean? I'm like gone, I'm out of there. I don't care anymore. I mean, I care for you as a person, but as far as keeping this commitment or whatever, I'm done, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. And that's basically with anything. I even noticed that like with business, like if I get frustrated with something, within the business or
Oh
whatever's
God,
going
that's
on,
me
I'm
all
like, you
day.
know what? I don't care. Do what you will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Guilty as
something different.
charged.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, you become emotionally numb. It doesn't matter to you anymore because you cried over it, you talked about it, you prayed about it, and that could just be your answer. That just could be the Lord just pushing you on
Yeah.
out, so you don't have to feel that pain anymore. So
Yeah.
He's removing you and releasing you from that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think about when I think about emotional numbness.
Yeah. Absolutely. Queen A. Tell us about your numbness.
So you can attest to this, Shalonda, where in my transformation, because I was someone we first met, I was completely cut off.
Yeah.
I was someone like I did not know how to process my emotions and didn't want to deal with my emotions. But I want to read this really quick. It's by Myra Mendez. She's a psychotherapist. She said emotional numbing is a mental and emotional process of shutting out feelings and may be experienced as deficits of emotional responses or reactivity. Emotional numbing is a state of being in which you are not feeling or expressing emotions. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it is important to have. It is important to access your emotions and feel it because it really helps in decision making, relationship success, day to day interactions, self care, and so much more. But I want to say this. A lot of people really don't, believe in astrology, but I'm going to bring a little bit to the table today. So astrology, I tell people all the time, and this is something that I do on the side, where I always tell people you got to know who you are, right? We all came with a blueprint. Your natal chart, your astrology chart, kind of help in understanding your blueprint, your makeup. Why do you do the things you do? What generational things you came along with, things that was passed down from generations that you don't understand why you are the way you are, or why
Mhm.
you are experiencing things in your life. So say for instance, my moon sign is in Aries, right? So moon deals with your emotions. How do you deal with things? So because my moon sign in Aries, Aries is a kind of like about me, about I. So when I was going through emotional stuff, I suppressed it or repressed it because I went back into me, right? I didn't know how to really let people in to help deal with my emotions. So I kind of went to myself, the Aries, being into the self, becoming selfish in certain ways. And then when I was feeling emotion, like just hiding my emotions again, being selfish, becoming selfish, being just about me, closing up. But also with the Aries, when it deals with emotions, the Aries is someone who, the Aries rule the mind, the brain. So sometimes I can get a depressive state. So I had to be committed to not, becoming depressed all the time because I suffered through depression for years, not wanting to get up in the morning. It was hard for me, Shalana, I was like getting up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was committed to being joyful. I was committed to being peace. So you got to know who you are. Also, in the third house in your chart, the third house deals with how you communicate, how you deal with emotions and communication. So, take my third house is in Pisces. So I may have wanted to escape. Escape could have been through alcohol, through through sex, drugs, whatever it could have been. So I had to learn those ways about myself and know and be committed to fighting through those ways. So when you know yourself, you understand why you are the way you are, and you know how to really work through those things. But emotional numbness, it usually comes from trauma. When you've been through so much and you don't know how to deal with it, especially this is the importance of friends. This is why I'm so happy. Like I have a group of sisters, Kim, Shalonda, our producer Sandrine, and so many other great friends. It's like I really appreciate it because when you have people in your circle that you can kind of bounce ideas off, or when something's going wrong in your life, you can kind of talk it through. You don't have to tell everything, but kind of express. Because emotional numbness comes from when you're not expressing, when you are suppressing everything, when you don't have people to bounce it off of, and you just kind of close up. But then you guess what happened? It's like when you close up like that, you become like vindictive. You can become vindictive, but you become manipulative in certain ways, right? And not even recognizing that you are manipulative, not even recognizing because you are so closed up. And then you start wondering why people are betraying you or people are acting a certain way towards you. This is all the things I had to learn, so I know all too well. So it's like you become, people start wondering why you are secretive, why you so detached, and then you start retracting instead of attracting. So you start getting people that move away from you. You start getting, great things are supposed to come into your life. All that start to retract from you because you become numb to a certain things. And with emotions, and I have to read this really quick. I love this. It gives ways to deal with it and cope with it. It says when you feel certain things, don't be so, you can protect yourself. We want to become guarded when we start feeling emotions, but it says take a look at the impact of your emotions. If you're feeling something, where the feelings coming, sit with it for a little bit. Sometimes we don't like to sit with it, right? Shawana, you said something the other day, how it was a research how people, I think it was men who don't sit. It was like a percentage, like people can't sit with themselves. They can't sit with themselves for more than 15 minutes a day because they don't want to deal with themselves or deal with their emotions or their feelings.
Yeah.
So so you got, especially it says especially men had a higher number and women had a lesser, but it just shows how people don't want to sit with it. So it says take a look at the impact of your emotions, right? When you feel it, take a look at it, understand why you feel it, where it's coming from, right? Don't run to like the alcohol or the sex or in my case, masturbation, whatever it may be, y'all. But whatever it is, don't be so quick to run and grab something to numb the pain. Sit with it, because when you become aware of it, acknowledge it, and sit with it, you start to understand yourself better. The next thing is aim for regulation. Don't repress it. That regulation you don't know yet. Maybe you don't want to share with other people. It could be go read a book, go write in a journal, go pray. That's the number one thing. Go pray. So it's like, aim for regulation, not always in a negative aspect, such as drugs or whatever, somebody you can party, that's good, do what you gotta do, right? But don't make it where it's unhealthy, y'all. Okay. So next thing is identify what you are feeling. Again, take a moment to check in with yourself. Okay. Remember, feelings are just feelings. Feelings can lie, right? It's not always the truth. Feeling is not always the truth. So you want to check in with why am I feeling the way I feel right at this moment? Because in the next hour, your feelings can completely change.
Right.
So you got to identify what you are feeling. Why are you feeling this way in this moment? What happened to make me feel this way? Does the situation have a different explanation that might make more sense? But sometimes we get in our feelings and we start to add on to the story more than what it is, right? And we begin to elevate it, and now we really, messed up in our emotions. So it's so many ways. And accept yourself, accept all your emotions, accept all of it, accept as you are, and begin to transform. And the most important thing, pray, keep a mood journal, meditate, have fun, y'all. Go out, have fun, connect with your friends, work out. That's the most important thing I've realized since I've been working out, is really has changed my mood and my emotions in such a powerful way. So
yeah, working out is good for the brain health.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really is.
That's good breakdown. Thank you, ladies, for that. Yeah, that's real good. Real quick before we end, I definitely want to get into this. We have been going from extreme to extreme, but want to get into this topic because this is another good topic for relationships. because we've been seeing this a lot, of course, on our infamous social media. What do you think is considered appropriate or inappropriate behavior when it comes to marriage? Or let's throw in relationships. Let's throw it in there. Let's just go ahead and throw in relationships too. So we definitely know marriage can be, kind of strict and everything, but let's throw in relationship too. So let's throw in the girlfriend and boyfriend or a fiance. They're not quite married, but there is a commitment there. So what do y'all consider? Do y'all consider is twerking okay? Is hanging out with your single friends? Oh, I have a new one. I heard this new one, y'all, on a talk show. Is hanging around your ex or being friends with your ex, is that good? Is that okay to be married and still friends with your ex? It's okay to be a fiance of someone and still be really good friends with your ex. Y'all think y'all should be twerking on social media and married, but y'all twerking and tearing it down?
Yes.
Oh God. And what about having separate bank accounts or hiding passwords from, your emails and your social? Oh, Miss Nikki bust up it. She busted wide open.
She's like, no. Nikki was that's what she really wanted to say.
Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
And we bring this conversation up, HMB fam, because we see a lot of things on social media. And me in particular, I just really have something to say when I see married young women in particular. Notice I said key word here, because married, I mean young is one thing. You gonna see the twerking in the young women for sure. But married young women, I mean twerking and just barely have the butt, unless we're including regular people as they call and celebrities. Twerking and they have just barely have their butt covered up. Barely. And I mean twerking harder than the twerk expert. Harder than that girl that was on Tyler Perry Boo, Medea Boo, Halloween. You know that little white girl that was twerking, twerking harder than her. But I mean twerking it and married. I've seen it over and over and over. Married ladies. Now, of course, I've seen a lot of single ladies, on. I don't know if they were in relationships, but a lot of them just, twerking or whatever on social media. And personally, I am tired of looking at a lot of butt. Now,
I wonder why.
you know what? On social media, but hey, I know that's how that's them having their little fun. But I definitely wonder, is that appropriate? Like, is that okay? Like, what do y'all think? Like, is that okay? There's like generations after us. Oh, well, there's a generation after us that's doing it, but after them, that they're and I've seen them with children. They have kids. They have children, and is that behavior okay? Like, what is considered inappropriate and appropriate behavior? Because we see it so much, and it's like our young kids, like some of the stories I'm hearing now when it comes to the young kids, how they talk to adults, the respect and the level of respect and the level of disrespect that they have for us. Can you really blame the kids? Can you really blame, because who's really teaching and who's really coming against the behavior of the adults? And I'm talking about bad behavior. I'm not talking about all behavior. And nowadays, it's what is considered bad and what is considered good. Okay, don't y'all leave me out here on the boat by myself.
For me, I would say, I try not to judge everybody. I have certain beliefs. I think that you shouldn't, especially if you're married, you shouldn't be out there in certain ways unless your spouse is okay. If you both agree to it, your spouse is okay with it. But if you have children, again, you should be a role model. One thing I would say is, this is when my son actually made a statement to me, and this is when I recognized that. I mean, I've always been the person that was very aware of what I teach my son, and I had my son young, but I was still always aware. But one day he said to me, he was like, Mom, I think I get all my wild ways from you, but like the committed, stable part, like I get that from Daddy. And I was like, and I was like, oh, and it tore me up. I'm like, Jay, really? Like, you got some good stuff from me. He was like, maybe having a business mind, thinking about my own business. I probably got that, but all the other wild stuff I got from you.
Oh my God.
That's when I recognized and said, I need to change my life. And that's when I realized, because I said, I want to leave a legacy, not just in terms of like money and business, whatever, but I want to leave a legacy in terms of the impact that I have in my child's life and in other people's life. And so when he said that, that's what made me recognize, like, I have to become a different person. I have to show him, like, I am, you can transform your life. You don't have to stay in a certain type of lifestyle. And, because I party hard. So, back in the days, not now, but, so it's important to realize what do you want to, display to your kids, not only to your kids, but in general to life. Now, people are in the entertainment industry. Like, what's her name? The Stallion. I be watching Instagram. Child, she be on there twerking hard. And I'm like, but I understand, because she's in the entertainment industry. That's the type of lifestyle, to keep people entertained, keep people engaged.
And she's single. And
right. Yeah. But it's like, do you want to attract a certain type of person into your life? Do you want, when you have kids, do you want
see who she attracts?
Right. So, so you got to look at what you're putting out there, what you're going to attract. So you can't get mad when you start getting certain type of people, or your children turn out a certain way. You just got to look at how you're a role model in society. But when it comes to marriage, though, again, everybody is for, you agree in your marriage, what's appropriate to you together, not just as a single, because you're not single in the marriage, you are with the person in a relationship, in the marriage, whatever. So you just can't say, I'm going to do this and think it's okay for your spouse, and they just have to deal with it. Not at all, because now you're one. So you got to work out together what's appropriate for the both of us, not just you, not just me, but what's appropriate for the both of us. But exes, I've learned, not at all. I am friends with some of my exes, but I have learned that sometimes, conversations from the past can come up. Well, you know what? Remember we used to go do this way and have sex this, so all of that is a no-no. So I definitely am that person that I'm willing to cut off all my exes, for my relationship with my husband.
Yeah. I believe that anything that makes your spouse uncomfortable is inappropriate. Again, like Queen A said, I can't speak on anybody else's marriage, but for myself, now you won't see me out there on social media twerking. Okay, now there may be a couple of videos of me and my husband on vacation that I might be twerking for fun, but nobody's seen those, and I can't really twerk, so it's just a little So and that's just me and him, and that's just for him. And like I say, it's not a Meg the Stallion, because I ain't the Stallion, but I just because you gotta have a little bit of excitement in your marriage. You gotta make it fun. You gotta laugh. That's okay, because we're all human. But as far as the exes and stuff like that, like Queen A said, no, that's inappropriate, because you already know men are gonna be men. They're gonna bring it up, they're gonna flirt, they're gonna talk. The conversation is gonna go there. And of course, again, that would make my husband uncomfortable. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want him to do that to me. On the other hand, there are some marriages that they like that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff turns them on. You know what I mean? So that's them.
Right.
And as far as like having single friends, the single friends that I do have, they respect me, they respect my marriage, and that's okay. Now, I knew somebody in the past that was I kind of saw that she was a little disrespectful, because some women, you have to watch them. They want to get up on your man and sashay and this and that, so you have to kind of cut them off. But other than that, anything that makes my husband uncomfortable, I would not, I won't do that. I won't engage in that, anything like that. No. Yeah.
Yeah, what about those
Right.
passwords and stuff and having them separate accounts and stuff like that for these married folks?
Well, you know what? And that too. That depends on the marriage because you have some people that's stronger in finance, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and so then you'll have you just have to figure out what works for your marriage.
Right.
You know, if you know your wife like to spend a lot of money, then you might want to have your separate accounts because then it's gonna be problems.
Right.
Because you
Or
can
you
have a
manage
separate
your account.
account and then you can have a joint account for the
Mm-hmm.
bills. You know what
For
I
the
Right.
mean?
bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the marriage. It just depends on who has the strong points in the marriage. You know, who
Yeah.
that depends on who's over the money and
Yep.
going to buy grocery or the business part of the relationship. That's how you do that. And as far as passwords, I don't really care about passwords. Now my husband, I can pick up his phone at any time. And be like, let me see your phone right quick, and and use his phone or go through his phone and look for something, not looking through pictures or nothing like that. Just Googling, maybe my phone is on charge, it's dead or something like that. But we don't really stress over that type of stuff because we really trust each other because he can pick up my phone and I can pick up his. But I mean, to be honest, everybody know my kids know my password and my husband do too. So in saying that, I don't have to give it to them because it's easy just like that.
Right.
Because I use the same password because I think about what if something happens to me and they don't have my password.
Right.
So I use the same password for everything. So
Right.
they'll know so they can pick up my phone and say, I bet it's this. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I
Right.
want them to have access to
And,
everything.
and that's the key thing that you said, Sirius K, that couples, these are couples, not just folks in relationship,
Yeah.
but couples need to know in case that the ones that are, having strongholds in that area, things happen. So if
Yeah.
something were to happen and your spouse don't have access to your information,
Yeah.
But that goes a
get
lot.
healthy.
That goes a lot deeper. I wish we had more time
I know.
delve in that because that goes a lot deeper because it goes with the whole security thing, right?
One
Mhm.
What
hundred percent.
makes so what makes you comfortable with your spouse in a relationship where you all have levels of individuality in a relationship, right? Individuality, like you
Mhm.
have accounts together, but you may have your separate accounts because you want to buy whatever you don't want to take from, the household accounts.
Mhm.
But when it comes to why people may want to hold on to certain things, like may not want an account with their spouse or may not want their spouse to have the password. So that's another whole conversation because it is important to have it, but why do the person feel like they don't want their spouse to have it? So
Right.
it goes with trust in terms of, well, what happened?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean the person is actually doing something, but it could
Yeah.
be something in the person that they just not trusting with their spouse, or maybe not just trust in life or whatever, where they don't feel comfortable enough. And then also from woman or man perspective or whatever, when it comes to accounts together, you have to be very respectful and mindful that you're in a relationship. You know how especially as women, like we can get mad. You know what? I'm gonna go take this credit card, spend me some money. Going shopping. So you got to be mindful of
Yeah.
how you engaging with with that account and with your partner, and just really keeping things perspective. It's like you all have to communicate and talk and find out if we're gonna spend it, what's being spent on. So it's just a
Mhm.
whole lot to really
Yeah.
delve into when it
Yeah.
comes to that, and why people don't want to share it. What's appropriate, what's inappropriate, why. So there's a lot of questions to ask
Yeah.
concerning.
Yeah. Communication and finances, those are like the top major,
Mhm.
divorce
Yeah.
topics,
Yes.
and
And
marriages.
sex, and sex.
Yeah, and your sex is but definitely those two, communication and finances.
Definitely those three.
But you have to have those conversations, like you lady says, you have to have that said you have to have that level of respect. You have to have that trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have a relationship.
Mhm.
You don't have a marriage. There is no commitment without trust. So if you do, if there are some trust issues, HMB fam, in your marriage, there is a problem, and there is a problem that can be fixed, that can be worked out.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the end all. It can be worked out. But if you have a problem with trusting her with your access to your issues, and that's your wife, or that's your husband, that's a problem,
Mhm.
because that is your spouse. That's your other half.
I understand this
That's
really
your other half. So,
well.
you have to trust that person with your life.
That's
So
right.
if you can't trust that person with just your computer or your phone or your wallet or your purse, that's a problem. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Um, so I have to say this really quick. God, I wish we could delve into this subject because this is really good. Because when a person don't trust, right, it's like, especially as when we can just go off like, I want your, password. I want, just really go off. But as a woman, what I had to learn, not just a woman, but in general, when a person don't trust, you have to give a person space. And you can't just especially in marriages, like we so quick to go off when we don't get what we want, because we take it as wrong. Like, okay, this person is not trusting me, this person is not giving in to me, this person is not doing that. And this is where we had to learn to give the person the space to begin to trust, to begin to feel safe. Especially if some things happen in the marriage, you got to be able to give a person space to really come back to that level of trust. So that's a
Oh,
whole.
Oh
yeah,
That's
you
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
big,
like
yeah.
what? Yeah,
Okay,
like you
first I was
talking
gonna say,
about
wait
once
a
the
minute
marriage is, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, like
no,
not in a marriage.
no,
That's
no,
not.
in a marriage, and no. Like, so for instance, if your person like, no, I'm not giving you my password, or no,
We're
whatever.
talking about
So
healthy, but like like Kim and Jason, they're in a healthy marriage. Nikki and her husband, healthy marriages. If there's a problem, they know how to go to, they know how to get some help and
right,
resolve their issue. But yeah,
right,
in an
right.
unhealthy house, when the marriage gets to what you're talking about, yeah, then it's time to get some help. And if they don't want to get help, when it get that bad to where they're at a space to where they don't
But
trust,
wait. You do have to give. You do, of course, you got to get help. But I'm
yeah,
just saying, this is where you have to. What people don't realize, people don't recognize in anything. So, okay, you're in a healthy marriage, right? But you will have some times where you just, you get mad, and say you get mad, but okay, you know what? Don't touch my phone. Whatever. Just give an example. So
Hmm.
it happens. You're in a healthy relationship. You have a disagreement. But you do have to give a person. I'm not saying space in terms of separation, but space in terms of allow me to show you that it's safe to safe for me to to access this, or allow me to so it's like you have to give a
Yeah.
person space to develop trust, especially in anything. If the relationship, if you had an argument, you're going to develop some type of feeling, you're going to be guarded, you're going to not have certain trust, because you're
Yeah.
just feeling certain feelings in that moment. So I'm saying, so anything, whether bad relationship, good relationship, whatever, you have to give a person space to come around. And when I say space, you have to give a person to be able to trust you again, be able to trust, like, okay, I said the wrong thing, I hurt you in certain ways, but I'm going to take a step back so you can trust me again. So that's what I'm saying.
oh,
Okay.
wow, this has been a great show, y'all. Just when it gets good, it's over. As
Yes.
always, you guys, well, HMB fam, we're so glad that you tuned in tonight. Definitely check out our weekly podcast. We upload a new video every single week on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon.
Amazon.
So check us out, because we upload our a new video every single week on our podcast, and leave a review. Let us know what you think, and
Mm.
it definitely help us to grow on our podcast. So definitely, chit chat with us and
Thank
let us
you,
know what
Nikki.
you think. Thanks a lot, Nikki. We love
Thank you,
you. We
Nikki.
love all of you. We will see you next week. We're
Good
out.
night.